Hello, welcome to Yoga with Rach. I'm Rach. Thank you very much for joining me and welcome to a video on Tuesday. So I always post a video up on a Thursday. I have done for nearly 3 years now, and we're currently in Gemini season. Gemini are represented by the twins, so we have that duality. And in my beginners class on a Monday, we've been looking at going into working with slightly different props. So in a yoga practice, you might be aware of using, say, a yoga belt, and we'll be going into that a little bit more in next week's practice. But I'll also be highlighting working with resistance bands. And then for week 3, I haven't decided if that's going to be 1 video or 2 videos yet. So you're definitely going to have 3 videos, including today's, next week's and the following weeks. But in week 3, we're going to be working with dumbbells. And I will show you a few props that you can use if you don't have dumbbells, but you know now, I'm giving you that heads up now, that in a couple of weeks' time, we're going to be going into practices of working with the dumbbells. There's lots of reasons why these have become part of my practice, and it's really, really good for building up strength and getting into slightly different variations of working with the hands, the wrists and the forearms, which we're going to be looking at today, that help us to build up into our yoga practice. So in our yoga practice, we tend to just be here, spreading the fingers nice and wide because you're pushing into the palms. When you're in things like, or in poses like tabletop, plank, downward dog, you're spreading the fingertips nice and wide, so you're pushing into the hands, but you're not working on the grip. And when we grip, that really helps to build strength up into our forearms. Now, Gemini rule the arms in our sort of archetype through the body. When we go through the zodiac, this is why I love integrating astrology with a yoga practice, because all the zodiac archetypes rule over areas of the body. So Aries, we have the head. Taurus, we have the neck, which is why in our previous practice the last 4 weeks I introduced the isometric holds. And now we're going into some different movements for the arms. And because I wanted to go into a little bit more, I've decided to film this little additional series that's going out on Tuesdays for the next couple of weeks, or at least 3 editions. And we're going to go into today's practice, which is really into movement for the hands, which are going to be activating working with the forearms. So a wrist stretch, obviously you can see you're moving the hands, working from the wrist joint, but you might not be aware that you're actually then working with the forearm. So you've got that duality of you're moving the hands and you're working with strengthening the wrist. Now strengthening the forearms as well as strengthening the wrists, because that's the movement that the muscle group that you're working with to help strengthen the wrists up. So in today's practice, we're going to go through just a few simple wrist stretches. Now, if you've ever practiced with me before, you know I like to go through like the tabletop where we rotate the hands out. Now, these are slightly different movements. You can do them exactly as I am now, sitting on your mat. You could be sitting on the sofa, you could be sitting at your desk, you could be sitting in bed, you could be sitting in the garden, whatever you're doing. So some of these will be really, really challenging because you're getting into building strength. So go with it. So the first one, we practice this a lot. If you ever did the postnatal mum and baby classes with me, we did something called popcorn hands. So this is really good because it's, you've got baby lying on the mat looking up and you're kind of stimulating because there's movement. But we're building strength up into the forearms and you're working on this grip already. Now you can do this here, so the arms out in front of you, you can do them out to the side. I haven't got a lot of room to do this with it on camera, so I'm going to do this with the arms out in front of me. Keep going. So what we're trying to do, we're making a fist and then we're opening the hand up as nice and wide. So making a fist, open the hand up nice and wide. So making a fist, both hands at the same time. So you can start off really slowly, but the aim with this is to start getting faster while still opening the hands. So sometimes we go really fast, but we don't really get the movement with the hands. So see how fast you can go, and you might find one hand goes faster than the other because most of us are dominant on one side than the other. So see how fast you can go, and hopefully you start to see that movement in the forearms. I know I can feel this. Woo, keep going. This one's so hard work. Woo, keep going. Few more, keep going. Oh, that's enough, well done. Give the arms a shake. So bring the hands together, just interlacing the fingers and just rolling the hands around. You might be getting clicks and crunches, going in the other direction. And in the other direction. So the next one we call a crescent. So we really want to make sure you work from the wrists. So what you're going to be doing, you're going to be bringing the fingers in to make a fist, and then you wrap the thumb around. So I'm going to show you this one from the side. So here it looks like you're making a fist to punch forward. You're going to just gently start to tuck the hand in. Can you see that dip? So you might have been here. Moving from the wrist, you're tucking the hand in, and you're going to move the hand side to side, but the movement is in the wrist. Now you might need to do one side than the other, which is fine. So you're making that fist, tuck the thumb round, then you're tucking the hand in. So it's that movement from the wrist, and you're moving the hands side to side. That's it. Keep going. And release, give the hands a shake. I'm going to wiggle back so you can see this one, because ideally we want to have the hands, the arms raised up. So we start with the hands, palms facing together, and you're going to be rotating the hands around. So we want the arms up, and the movement is really from the wrist, so it's not from the shoulder. You're moving, palms facing out, palms facing in, palms facing out, palms facing in, palms facing out, palms facing in. Keep going. So if you do have high blood pressure, that can mean that we don't want to keep the arms lifted too much, so you can always do that here. Especially if you're used to rotating from the shoulder, this one can make it that little bit easier, because you can only then move, because obviously you're bending at the elbow. So it's that rotation. And then we have one more, bringing the hands down. So bringing the hands into Namaste, really pushing the palms together, and you're going to turn the hand all the way around so the fingertips are pointing down. So you might really start to feel that stretch into the inside of the wrists. Make sure you're not lifting the shoulders up. Make sure you're not pulling the palms apart. So keeping the hands touching together. And you can always bring the hands back round so the fingertips point up, just to find that release. Keep pushing the hands together, releasing, pointing the fingertips down. That's it. You might have that release. Pushing the hands down. And again, to build up, you might just find you move around, but keep pushing the palms together so you still have that active stretch going on. And then bringing the hands around, interlace the fingers again, just come into that first stretch where we were releasing, or the stretch we've already done before. I don't think this was our first one. I don't know about you, but I know this really makes my wrist really click. So just finding that movement, getting that release, get that circulation going. So next week, we're going to be going into, again on a Tuesday, so you've got a couple of additional videos or practices. Next week we're going to be going into working with the props. Now there are some where, if you have got the resistance bands, so some of them are looped, you can cut them if you wish to, and they do tend to have different resistances. So this one I'm going to be using is a medium, but you can go with lighter or you can go with a heavier one. Or you can also use the belts. Now the belts aren't going to get the resistance, you haven't got that pull. If you don't have a yoga belt, you can use any type of belt that you have. So whether it's one that you'd use on your trousers, whether it's one that you would use on your dressing gown. Some students use ties or scarves, as long as it's still quite strong, so you can release it. So we're going to go into a couple of stretches where we can work with the belt and or the resistance bands for the wrists, the arms and the shoulders. So well done. Thank you for joining me for today's additional practice. We've got a new practice starting on Thursdays. We move into Gemini season, breaking down the 4 weeks that I usually do with you, with what I would practice in the studio, or at the moment it's on the live stream classes. If you have got any questions with these, let me know in the comments. If you would like to join me for a live stream class, all the details are in the information below. Have a wonderful week. I shall see you on Thursday, and I shall see you next Tuesday.